For anybody that is watching that might be like, one of the veterans dealing with those thoughts of suicide,
Yeah.
what advice that you would give them?
A few different things. So one is treat this like any other mission, right? You may be having some thoughts in your head, or you may have some physical ailments that are kind of driving you to this, or whatever it may be. That's just part of what you have to deal with right now. Look at that as the cost of completing the mission, right? Yes, you may not be in the best mental place, but that doesn't mean you have to take action on those thoughts. Those are your thoughts, but that's not a fact. That's not empirical evidence of anything, right? So just like when let's say you're on a patrol and it's, you're going through a swamp somewhere and it's all wet and gross and sticky and hot and you're being devoured by mosquitoes. You're not comfortable. You're miserable, you're in pain, your body probably hurts from carrying all this gear, but you're not going to sit down in the middle of the mission and just be like, I'm done, I quit, right? So treat this the same way. The other thing that I have found especially useful is finding a mission that's bigger than yourself. When we kind of get into our own feelings and we're focused on ourselves and what we don't have or what we're not achieving or the challenges that we're facing, when we focus on that, then we start to fall into this kind of self-pity loop. And then it's like, oh, well, this guy's got it so much easier. And if I didn't have this problem, I could be achieving this or that or whatever. And that's the wrong mindset, because it just puts you into this negative place. And that kind of creates this doom loop. Whereas if you have a bigger mission, right? So for me, one of my things was, well, let's back up a little bit. When I went through that health crisis, I did have periods where, not that I wanted to die, but the thought certainly crossed my mind many times. I'm a Marine vet. There's firearms all over my house. That wouldn't surprise anyone, I don't think. But there were times when I would be walking through the house and, you see a rifle or you see a handgun and it's like, well, I don't want to be gone, but if I did, that's an easy way to go, right? I started helping a lot of other veterans. Initially, it just kind of started out as posting stuff online, right? Just kind of sharing my thoughts, because a lot of people will never reach out for help, especially men, and especially guys who served in the military. And then I guess you can further self-select that down to like the infantry guys, right? These are the guys who are going out fighting. They're the guys who are going out protecting everybody. They're going to put their lives on the line. Is that the kind of guy you think's going to ask for help? Right? They're the ones who everyone else looks to. So part of what I did was I started kind of trying to break that thought process for people, right? Talking about, where and when I was looking for help, what I needed, who I was talking to, and things like that, and being very transparent about the shit I was going through. And that was really good for a lot of people, because they had never seen anyone in my type of situation, right, come out and say these things, right? That's just not a thing that we do.
Yeah.
And then that kind of evolved into people started reaching out to me and asking for my advice. And then people started connecting those people to me. And it just kind of became this thing where everybody knows that if they know somebody going through something, they can connect me and I will help that person. And so, I was talking about this in an article that Fox News did on me on, I think it was on Veterans Day a couple of years ago. One of the things I talked about in there was, I now don't have the choice to give up, because I've been up here for years talking about persevering through this adversity and, getting help if you need it. And all of these things that I talk about, and you've seen a lot of this content.
For sure.
How am I going to go and check out now at this point? Because I've been talking about this for years. And I know there is a certain number of people who are alive because of that, because they specifically told me, if I check out, now that gives them all permission to do the same thing.
Yeah.
So I have created a mission bigger than myself. So it's not about me. It's about all of those people that I could potentially help, that I can save, so that now their kids grow up with a father. That wife doesn't lose her husband. I can't give up because of all the people that it would affect.
Yeah, it's very tragic, like, for people that come and go and serve the country and then coming back and having to deal with this kind of stuff. Man, I super greatly appreciate all the things that you've been doing and, like, helping other people and, saving lives.
Thank you.
That's so fire!
Fire, fire, fire!
That's so fire, baby! That's so fire!
Fire!
That's so fire! Ow!